I got a suggestion from Greg Geis in the comments. Thanks for the suggestion, Greg, for a travel light stand, which seems to meet a lot of criteria. So I'm sharing it with, we're going to review it, and I'm going to share what I found with you guys. So as you know, a travel light stand is a very tricky thing because you want it to be lightweight, you want it to be small enough to fit in a suitcase, and you want it to be strong enough to support something heavy, like the AD600 is the ultimate test. This thing is 7 pounds. This is really heavy. And if possible, on uneven ground, to have the legs be able to, each leg be at a different height for uneven ground. So this is quite a bunch of things that you want to have in a light stand. It's very difficult to find a light stand that does all of that. My favorite light stands always have been, for traveling, the Impact LS series. The LS6, 6 foot, LS8, 8 foot, and the LS10, 10 feet. Look how tall this thing is. These things are really lightweight, but strong enough to support a AD600. And they're aluminum. So aluminum is actually stronger than, carbon fiber, but I'll show you here. My favorite one is the 8-footer because, I'll show you why in a second, but it is strong enough. It doesn't look very strong, and it will wobble a bit, but this is, look at this, 8 feet up, and it'll wobble a bit, but not that much. That's 7 pounds up there. Now, I've actually used the 10-footer with maxed out in wind in Hawaii. I used these things all the way 10 feet up with the things waving, but they never broke. No light ever fell down. I put a lot of weight on rocks, obviously, on the base to keep it secure, but I've never had one of these fall over, and they're strong enough to support an AD600. The reason I like the 8-footer is because, well, geez, I usually never need anything over 8 feet, but the main reason is when it's collapsed, this thing fits in my suitcase. So if you look here, it just fits, and it has to be diagonal. It's lightweight. It supports 7 pounds of weight, the AD600, and it collapses down, and it weighs very little, and it's aluminum, and it's strong. So this has been my favorite one so far for trips. Now there is some, now this one here that I showed you here, this is the one, I made a video about this. This is a ProMaster LSCT. This is what it collapses down to. Very, very short. Matter of fact, this thing can go in a suitcase this way, but it's wider in the base. This one is shorter, but it weighs a little bit more. But the thing that I like about it is the legs extend. Each leg not only can go at a different angle from 90 degrees to there, but each leg is also can extend like that. So that's something that's really cool. And most of these other stands, these ones don't do that. I have to like put rocks under each leg to keep it straight. There are a lot of other ones that I have that do have the legs that go into different angles, which is great, but they don't have the extending legs. These are really lightweight. They're inexpensive, they're aluminum, they don't weigh much. I like these. I've covered these in other videos, but the legs do not extend in and out. They do go at different angles though. So that's where this one comes in. This is the one that Greg suggested. Check this out. In a full-size suitcase, it fits perfectly lengthwise. It's 24 inches. It is the same weight as this, 2.5 pounds. This is 2.5 pounds. The LS8 is 2.2 pounds. So it weighs a little bit more than my favorite LS8. Which is aluminum. This is carbon fiber. Now here's the cool thing about this. This thing, it looks cool too. Each leg can extend its own unique length. So you can get it to work with uneven ground. Now the legs do not go at separate unique angles. The only thing you have with the ground here is this will extend or contract, but the legs themselves all move in unison, so you can't move each leg separately. But when these are extended, the one thing this has that none of the other ones have is, look how wide that base is. Look at the base difference between these. I think 8 feet is as tall as you really need to go with a light stand. So The LS8 is actually a few inches taller, so it's not really 8 feet, it's 8 feet 3 inches. But this one is a true 8 feet. Look how wide that base is, though. You would think this thing is super, super stable because of the wide base. All right, so there we go. 8 feet up. And it's pretty wobbly. But it'll support it. It'll definitely support a 600. It's just, it's kind of wobbly. And if you have a modifier on there, like a big softbox or something, obviously it's going to be even worse. And you definitely don't want the wind to catch it. The reason this is so lightweight is because it's carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is strong this way. Like if you push down on it, it's strong. But this way, like you could probably snap it really easily sideways. Okay, so here I have 7 pounds AD600 on each one of these. This one wobbles quite a bit. This one wobbles too, but it just feels stronger because it's aluminum versus carbon fiber. They both wobble, but I would trust this one more than this with a big heavy weight. You're probably hardly ever going to have a big heavy thing 8 feet up. You usually have it about this height, which is about 6.5 feet. So that way your rods can be in some bit, and now it's not going to shake as much. So if you're only doing 6 feet or 6.5 or 7 feet, it's not going to shake as much. Now you would think that because of the wide base, it would be stronger, but really what's holding it this way is only the distance from here to here. That's what's keeping it. It's not this, it's the distance from here to here that's keeping it straight. And if you look at the other one, it's the same distance from here to here. So they both have the same amount of stability as far as from here to here, can keep it from wobbling. But this is aluminum and this is carbon fiber. That's why this one's a little bit stronger. But because you have a wider base, it's probably better for wind. Now, the other thing is, because this is aluminum, you can put heavy rocks on here to hold it down. This thing, I wouldn't trust putting heavy rocks on carbon fiber. You'd have to hang a weight down the middle here. Something heavy on there's a hook here. So you'd have to hang a heavy weight on the middle. It looks cool. It's got the shiny red anodized aluminum. But really what this thing is, I mean, I really don't use the 600s that much anymore. As you've seen lately, I'm using more 100s and 200s for what I'm doing. So these things are definitely good enough for anything up to a 400, I think is totally fine with these. But this is really cool. It's really lightweight for what it is. It's 2.5 pounds. The brand it's from China. It's called Freesea. And it's 250 centimeters, which is 8 feet, 2.5 pounds. 25 to 24 inches when it's collapsed, and it's $98. Okay, I lined all these up really quick so we can compare. These are all strong enough to hold a AD600 or 7 pounds of weight, about 6.5 feet up, no problem. I'm going to just go down the line real quick so you can compare. This is the one that we're talking about today. So you can see it's kind of right in the middle of the running here. Okay, the first one up is the 10-foot LS10. This is too big to fit in a suitcase, but it's 10 feet up, it's 2.5 pounds, it's 33 inches when it's collapsed, and it's $55. The Impact LS8, this is the one that I've been taking the most on my trips, 8 feet high. It is 2.2 pounds, collapses to 29 inches, and it's only $33, made of aluminum, so it's pretty darn strong. Here we have the Freesea from China, the new one. It's $98. It's 8 feet high, 250 centimeters. It's carbon fiber, 2.5 pounds, 25 inches when it's collapsed, and it's very lightweight, so that's good. My next one up here is this aluminum again. This is the K&F Concept. This is 80 inches, so it's 6 feet 8 inches. It's almost 7 feet, 2.3 pounds, 21.5 inches when it's collapsed, so it'll fit really well into a suitcase. It's $80. And next one up is the Neewer S251. This one is also aluminum, really sturdy. And I know what you're going to say, these ones are too short. I'm going to show you in a second. No, they're not. This one here, the new, what I do with these ones. This is, what is it, the Newer? Yeah, this one is 6 feet 2 inches. It's 2 pounds. It's 19 inches when it's collapsed, and it's only $33. This one's, I made a video about this one. It's really lightweight. It weighs nothing. It's also aluminum. It's amazing how lightweight this is. It's from China. It's a Tigayan 73 inch, which is 6 feet 1 inch. It's only 1.6 pounds. It weighs almost nothing. It's 19 inches when it's collapsed. It's only $33. Really, really lightweight. Then we get down to the Impact LS6. This is the 6-foot version. This is only $20. And it is only 1.8 pounds, 26 inches when it's collapsed. And then finally, we have the Impact, the ProMaster LSCT. This one here is 5 feet 4 inches, which is 64 inches. 2.6 pounds, and it collapses down to 16 inches. Very, very small. $70. So it is kind of up there in price, but it has the legs that go different lengths and different angles. What I was going to say was, okay, these ones here, you think these are too short because these are all like at 6 feet, but if you want 8 feet, that's where I use this. Now, this is what's great for traveling because these things collapse down to a very small size, which is great for traveling. And then if you want the extra 2 feet, you get one of these. This is an extension rod. You just put it on here. This is made out of steel. Very, very strong. It's got a clamp on here. And now you've got an 8-foot stand. So you can travel and it's very, very strong, and this will definitely hold an AD600. Here I have a 6-foot LS6 6-foot stand, which only costs $20, made of aluminum, and I have a 2-foot steel extension rod on there, and it wobbles a bit, but this is metal. This is metal, and it'll definitely handle a 7-pound AD600. So for the shorter ones are definitely still in the running. So I just thought I'd give you a real quick reminder of my favorite travel light stands that will hold an AD600. Now, I know I have all kinds of, I know I talked about all kinds of other ultralight light stands like these that go up just as tall and they weigh very little. These are carbon fiber. These ones are for an AD100 or AD200, but nothing over that. So these ones, and these ones are not good for soft boxes or any kind of large modifier. These ones are basically for just a light and maybe a reflector, but that's it. So that's why I'm not including these. These ones are strong enough to hold an AD600, and some of these are strong enough to hold a big softbox also, especially the aluminum ones like the Impact LS series. This new one here, it's really good. If it's at about this height, where you have some of the rods stuck in a little bit, and it's about 6.5, 7 feet, it's strong enough to hold an AD600 and maybe a softbox, a smaller one. But I like how wide the base is. So thank you, Greg, for suggesting this. I thought this is it's amazing how lightweight this is considering how wide the base is. And again, I really like how the feet, each foot can be put into a different length, and it collapses this way, which is kind of cool. And it fits into a suitcase very nicely. So it is an option for people. I mean, each light stand has pluses and minuses. I thought I would mention them really quick. This one will fit into a suitcase, which is great. It doesn't weigh much. It's 2.5 pounds, and it can go up to 8 feet. And it'll definitely hold anything up to a 400, easily up to 8 feet. It will hold a 600 if it's not too windy and you don't have a big softbox on it. But all of these will definitely work with anything underneath of that. So, okay. I'll put the links for everything down below. I think most of these are still available except for one. But other than that, I love light stands. I just can't get enough of them. So when you travel, the heaviest part is the lights and the batteries. And the biggest part is the light stands. So anyway, I just love the logistics of traveling. It's kind of fun. I love it. I guess maybe because I'm German and I like the scientific measurements and everything, but this is great. All right, so that's it. Thanks, Greg, for the suggestion. If any of you have other suggestions, let me know in the comments. I will try to share them if I can, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a good one.